Greetings, and thank you for joining us for the fifth episode of the Young Justice Review on DC Animation with Spencer and Friends. This is an LMG Podcast Production. Today, I'm joined by my guest.
Hello, it's Cassidy.
Cassidy's here with us again. And Cassidy, we're happy to have you.
I'm happy to be back.
Excellent, excellent. So, we have talked about your DC consumption, and your DC consumption, you're about to have to add Young Justice to your resume.
It's gonna have to be like knowledgeable in the subject soon, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Highly.
Oh, yeah. So, I appreciate you for joining us on this journey through DC animation. Today, we will be reviewing season 1, episodes 9 and 10. So, episode 9, Bereft. We open in Bialia, where Miss Martian is confused. Superboy shows up in a rage and attacks her. Robin, Kid Flash, and Artemis also wake up in Bialia confused. Everyone is experiencing memory loss, and Superboy, again, just in full rage. So, memory loss, I mean, you can call it that, but he's just mad. Miss Martian finds Kid Flash and Artemis, and Superboy gets captured by Bialians. They catch up to Robin, and Miss Martian creates a hive mind so that they can remember what happened. They see that Batman sent them on a mission to investigate what landed in Bialia. They realize that Calder needs to be found, and Superboy is being tortured. Miss Martian goes to rescue Superboy, and Simon is there, and he is the one that made everybody forget what happened. Simon and Miss Martian engage in a psychic duel. Superboy escapes and enters that psychic duel, where she is able to restore his memories, and the two of them use the power of friendship to defeat Simon. They also save a giant metal sentient sphere that they keep as a souvenir. Simon reports back to the Light that Superboy and the sphere got away, but the Light is pleased that their transport test was successful. And that's the episode.
That's the episode.
So, had you ever heard of Bialia?
No.
That's what I figured. It is a made-up country that exists in the Middle East. So
Okay.
DC has a lot of, made-up places that are allegories for other places.
Okay, so this one's a Middle Eastern situation.
Yeah, it's just the Middle East. Are you familiar with Black Adam at all?
The Rock?
Yes.
That's all I know.
That's fine. There is a situation where he destroys Bialia, but
Oh,
yeah, Bialia is just a Middle Eastern country that Queen Bee runs. And Miss
Beyonce?
Martian wakes up and she's just speaking Martian in her head.
Yeah. Can I
And
comment on that? Let me
good.
let me comment on that because last episode we had a discussion on um with Aqualad going back to Atlantis and
So Miss Martian wakes up and she's just confused and she's
Mhm.
just speaking Martian to herself.
Yeah, she's speaking Martian to herself, and I have a bone to pick with that for this show because last episode, Aqualad went back to Atlantis, and they're speaking Atlantean and all of that, and I got subtitles for that. But Miss Martian's just out here chit-chatting in Martian, and I was not given any subtitles.
I assume that is because she was talking to herself. It was not a conversation happening.
I, as the viewer, wanted to be clued in
You're
and
making
didn't
sense.
appreciate it.
And it sounded did you ever play The Sims?
Simlish and all of that.
It sounded Simlish.
Which I'm sure the implication of it all is that she says exactly what she just said, but in English right after. But
But
I
it
was
would
like,
have been nice
why can
to.
we give me one fake language and not another subtitle?
Yeah.
The
And again,
subtitlers just don't know Martian yet.
I'm assuming it is because of how brief it was, because I the subtitle probably just said speaking alien language or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, I would venture to guess because it wasn't very long, because it may not have been super important, and because it was not a conversation between two people, is
Hmm.
probably why they didn't bother subtitling it.
Yeah.
And also to your point, she may have just repeated herself in good old Earth English.
Hello, Megan. Yeah.
Yeah, that. So Superboy just jumps in and appears, and he's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he attacks her because, again, he's just full rage mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Robin being like, what the fuck am I doing in, those are Bialian soldiers. What are they doing in? Oh, I
Yeah.
too am in Bialia.
That made me laugh so much. I was just like, how dare they be where they're supposed to be?
You're
Yeah.
like, what? What?
Eh?
That's weird.
Mhm.
So, then we see Kid Flash and Artemis, and they're both very confused. They're
Yes.
like, how did I, what's happening right now? Because he was like, I'm Kid Flash. He was like, you don't, that's not what you usually wear. And she was like, and I don't know what I'm wearing. But
Mhm.
yeah, we see that without their first really tense interaction,
Hmm.
Wally's like, ah, I see you.
I fully believe, and this is me saying this, having come to really like Wally lately. Um, I think this really proved a thought in my head of just whatever girl Wally sees first,
That's what we're doing.
Wally's gonna want that girl specifically.
Wally does move fast.
Haha.
So there's that. But yeah, so they wake up and they're also confused in Bialia. I guess Artemis wakes up and Wally's like, hey, you doing okay?
Hmm.
And it's very clear that they're all experiencing memory loss. And Wally's like, all right, let me check my little food storage. Up. Yep, it's been longer than 24 hours because I have no snacks.
Hmm.
And Superboy, still mad.
So mad.
So Miss Martian is kind of piecing things together a little bit.
Hmm.
And she does catch up to Kid Flash and Artemis, who, of course, are being attacked by Bialian soldiers.
Hmm.
And Superboy, he, they have him like kind of, they're trying to tie him down. I was like, there aren't enough of y'all to actually do
No.
anything. And then somebody says to a guy in a hood, like, hey, you need to put him down for us because this is not good. And he's like, okay, fine. And then he shuts him down and, just a little nappy nap.
Just a little sleep.
And they find Robin, and Robin and Kid Flash are like, oh my God, it's so good to see you.
Hmm.
So let's compare notes. And Miss Martian is like, hey, it's for our friend.
Hmm.
We gotta get Superboy right. So I'm going to bring all of you into my mind so that we can try to piece this thing together. And that is where we see that Batman, sent them on a mission. He said, hey, there was some alien thing that happened in Bialia.
Hmm.
We need y'all to go figure out what it was. Bialia is a rogue state, so they do whatever they want over there. They're not a part of the United Nations. They're not a part of the like Justice League Accords or whatever.
Hmm.
They are rogue. So radio silence because they will absolutely intercept whatever. So just understand that. So it starts like a normal mission, as far as we can tell. And then they see Calder in the vision and they're like, oh shit. Because
Yeah.
we see him whenever Superboy is captured, Calder's like behind a rock, passed out.
Yeah.
And when the episode started, I said, oh shit, we're in the desert.
Yeah.
And if everybody's got memory loss, Calder's not okay right now.
No, no. I was stressing
Yeah.
so much.
I immediately was like, where, because he's not okay.
No.
Like I can guarantee that he's not okay
Man's
because
dehydrated.
we're in the desert.
Yep. The
The
heat, the
the
lack of
worst
water.
place for him to be.
Hmm.
And so they're all saying like, "Hey, we need to go get Calder." And Miss Martian is like, "We need to find Superboy. Like he's." And then she feels him being tortured because he has been taken to a lab. They're electrocuting him. They're like, turn up the dial.
What? Okay, and this is a lack of knowledge question, I think. What are they torturing him with? Like, what is it that they could get him?
I am not sure what the torture is for. I don't know if the torture is just to see like how much he can withstand.
Okay.
I don't know the goal of this torture.
Well, I asked just because I'm looking at it, and maybe this is the problem too, is I'm looking at it from maybe like a Superman perspective of like, okay, literally, how could Connor not get out of that?
Yeah, because he has been in the desert, which means it's been sunlight.
Yeah.
So he should have all his powers.
But I know that Connor's not fully realized, I guess, at certain capacities. But when I was watching it and they're electrocuting him and stuff, I was just like, I don't know why this is hurting
How
him.
this is happening. And like
Yeah.
A, why it's hurting him, and B, why he hasn't just broken out.
Just walked out.
Yeah, that is I think the episode's gotta happen is the answer for that.
Okay, one of those.
Yeah, because I was also like, could he have just like snapped his little restraint at any time?
That's what I'm wondering.
Or
I,
is it like they didn't really go into why he couldn't.
yeah. Okay.
So that is unclear.
Okay.
But Miss Martian goes in there to rescue him, and Simon then takes his hood off, and you just
Simon.
see an exposed brain.
Ugh,
And it's like,
gross.
oh, okay. And then he does the whole forget. You're a glutton for
Yes.
punishment, aren't you? You know, that whole thing. And I was like, I love Alan Tudyk. He's great in everything he does.
Never,
And
never seen a bad Tunic
exactly.
thing.
He's excellent. And so we realize like, oh, he's the reason that everybody's forgotten. And then, we see what happened, and that explains why Robin was like, what happened to March? Because I was confused because the show starts in July. The show starts on
The
Independence Day.
timeline had me really confused. That's what applause to the writers of this because you had me just as confused as the Young Justice people because I had no clue what the hell was going on
Yep.
for most of the episode. I had to watch it again because I was like, I don't know why, when, where, what. Well, no, Bialia, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Whenever he said what happened to March, I was like,
I thought
oh,
it was just September or
yeah,
something like
it was September.
because it was in my mind.
Yeah, the episode took place in September, and I was like, "You're talking about March, but July has a year. Is it September the next year? Like, what are we?
Yeah.
What's?" And so, yeah, I they did that really well. And whenever Artemis was like, "What am I wearing?" I was like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah, a little fit. Yeah.
And then whenever they realized like 6 months was the issue, and they were like, "Oh, Superboy didn't exist 6 months ago."
Yeah.
What that's
Oh,
not
do that.
good
No.
if he went back from before his birth, which is why he's just in a fit of rage.
Yeah.
So Simon and Miss Martian are just locked in a psychic duel.
Hmm.
And so their physical bodies are just there.
Yes.
Because somebody like waves their hand in front of Simon. Is like, Simon, you there? He's not.
No.
He's in the middle of something right now. And so, yeah, they're just having a big, extravagant fight inside of the mines. And Simon is basically like, "Oh, you're so cute.
You go. Yeah.
Like you're JV. I'm a professional. Like your skills are untrained, and I'm out of your league."
Hmm.
And so Superboy does escape. We see that the sphere is sentient, the sphere that they're electrocuting,
Yeah.
and
I
it
don't like a sentient object.
okay. So
No, they freak me. Well, we just had the whole thing about the mask in the last episode. Sentient objects just freak me out a little bit.
I understand.
I don't trust them.
Okay, I get that.
Anyway, sorry, we can get back on topic.
So yeah, the sentient sphere like kind of helps Superboy escape, and then
Yeah.
he goes over there and just touches Miss Martian's hand, and now he's in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, good, I can bring your mind back." And so she brings him back, and he's like, "Good, I am myself again. Kick his ass." And then he leaves. He, does what he needs to do, and then he has to go back in there because she's losing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Simon is a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Hey, we can do this together because you're super powerful, but
Super Bowl.
I am Superboy, and what I am is stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
So I have zero psychic powers, but my stubbornness will get us through this."
Yes.
And they kind of knocked the shit out of Simon.
Yeah.
And we see that while she's doing this, her telekinesis is also like affecting the room, and there's a lot of stuff happening. A tornado somehow spins up,
Because why not?
because why not?
Why not?
And yeah, Simon loses handily whenever Superboy gets his, I guess strong ass mind in there. I do think it was funny that they were like, they said to Simon, like, hey, you need to, you know, shut his mind down. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, not a lot of mind in there to shut down, but I'll give it a
When
go.
he when he said that, I was like, oof. I honestly probably could have said that with or without the 6 months situation. I was like, there's not much going on there for Connor right now.
I mean, and he's better.
He's better, but I still think the comment would have worked even with quote unquote full memory still intact.
I don't think you're wrong. And
I share it
so
with so much love.
And so another situation, we do see that they find Calder, and he's
Yes.
kind of speaking Atlantean, like, and he's delirious a little bit.
Hmm.
I heard him bring up Tula, but you know, I don't know what else he said.
Hmm.
And then whenever they do get him like an IV to rehydrate him, he wakes up. He's like, "Who the fuck are you people?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
Megan's little
And
like, oh yeah.
oh, whoops.
I should fix that. Haha. It's
Yeah,
like
I
Megan,
should.
girl.
Yeah, please handle that.
Yeah. I'd be scared of Calder if
Yeah,
he didn't know who I was.
So, and yeah, like if I'm Calder and I wake up with a bunch of strangers around me, like, oh, whoa,
Hmm.
because that's the thing. Like, I bet that like he was made to forget and then pass. Like he was useless. Like he never did anything.
Hmm.
Like they made him forget, and then he just went to sleep and was
Hmm.
asleep for the entire episode.
Good on that.
So, yeah, I'm sure that yeah, because everybody woke up from a coma that lasted Lord knows how long.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it is very, very possible that he was where he was the entire time. And so, yeah, they take the giant sphere with them.
Gotta have that souvenir.
Yeah, it's just little beep beeps.
And
Uh,
when she was like, "Don't worry," it's like too
yeah.
late. I do.
And so Simon, because everybody is, Simon goes back to the light.
Talks to the light because
Everybody.
everyone's in the club.
Everybody.
All of them.
And yeah, Simon is like, we failed to get Superboy and the sphere also got away. And the disembodied voice was like, oh, no, no, no. This is a good thing. We figured out that we can transport things. And then we see what looks like a boom tube open and the sphere arriving,
Mm-hmm.
which is the thing that Batman detected.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, no, we saw that this was successful. And so we can get stuff here that will make Sphere look obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a problem at all. But we figured out that we can do this.
Yes.
So I would venture to guess that you have never seen Simon before. Um, I
No.
think that this was my first time seeing Simon or like really knowing who Simon was. I may have seen him in other things before I watched
Mm-hmm.
this, but like this is when I like was like, oh, Simon is who that character is, but I had not been able to put a name. Like if I had seen him before this, I wouldn't have known who he was.
Yeah,
So
I
I
no
can say
clue.
confidently this is my first time seeing Simon.
I probably can't like 100% because sometimes some people showed up on Smallville that were very broken down versions of the characters they were supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
We discussed on a different one of your DC animations how Doomsday and whatnot, there are very different versions on Smallville, very lessened versions. So Simon might have been there and was just such a
I doubt
minuscule
it.
moment, but
Just because Simon is typically associated with the Teen Titans or
well
the
then
younger heroes.
never mind.
Yeah. So it is unlikely that Simon was in Smallville. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
he wasn't because honestly, Smallville was not necessarily the Teen Titans, but it was a
Young
version of Young Heroes.
Young Justice League existed within Smallville. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I highly doubt that Simon was in Young Justice.
They
But
have bigger fish to fry
yeah.
than Mojo Jojo over here.
Oh, that's a good pull
Mm.
because his brain was out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Hmm.
funny. Uh, so how do we feel about episode 9?
I definitely, like I said a bit ago, had to watch it again because I was so confused at the start of it that I needed to watch it again with the clarity of knowing what would happened kind of thing because they did a great job confusing me as well because I was just like, why don't we know what's happening and have no clue, no backstory, no anything. We usually know exactly what we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're going about it the right way,
Yeah.
that leaves it up to the kids to decide. But
Like, yeah, usually the squad is told, hey, do this quietly, and then they don't.
no, but they were just knocked out. So that was interesting. Um, Obviously a lot of Megan and Connor moments all up in here. And I
Because
know
whenever,
uh,
she was putting his mind back together, they spent a lot of time on the whole, like, cooking thing,
mhm.
like where she spilled all the ingredients on him.
A lot of that, a lot of prolonged eye contact, a lot of just like convenient hand placements, la di da di da. They're cute. I'll admit it. Is it what I wanted? No, but they're cute.
So, what did we think about? Because with the memory loss,
Yeah.
Wally and Artemis liked each other, and we saw earlier that that was kind of hinted at. So, do you have any feelings about that happening? And Wally basically being like, I didn't like you when I met you because of the circumstances, but like, had that not happened, I think,
I no. Listen. And it's not going to work out because I'm bad at predicting these things. But I still don't want that to happen because I think he was right in that first instinctual thing. I think him liking her right now was him being a little teenage boy and being
okay,
like, oh, ho, ho, ho.
like,
Because
look, a human woman.
I think if Megan had been there first when he gained consciousness again, he would have been right back on the Megan train. So that's what I personally believe. Um, as we know, listeners that have been following along, I'm not an Artemis lover as of right now, and I don't want her near my kids. Um,
Okay,
keep her away from Wally. Well,
okay,
she wants to stay away from him anyway, so it's fine, but
yeah, like she's not interested. So, okay. I wondered how you would feel about that since again it was hinted at earlier.
I know. I don't
And
like
then
them. I don't like the hints. If
and the hints could be nothing.
I mean, they could be, but I wanted to believe that with Connor and Megan, and that's not going too hot for me either. So I don't know.
We got time.
We've got time.
We're gonna see what happens. So, episode 10, Targets.
hmm
We open in Taipei, where North and South Malaysia are preparing to meet with an arbitrator since their peace summit has been unsuccessful. Red Arrow asks for some assistance from Aqualad to get information on Cheshire, who he locates at the summit. The arbitrator arrives, and Red Arrow is able to successfully thwart the assassination attempt on the arbitrator, Lex Luthor. Red Arrow just knows Lex is up to something, but realizes that he needs to figure out why the League of Shadows wants to kill him. Superboy and Miss Martian get Earth names, and they make their way to their first day of school. Red Arrow interrogates Cheshire as she is busted out of custody by Sportsmaster. Red Arrow gets a tracker on their helicopter and follows them to none other than Mr. Ras Al Ghul. Red
Mhm.
Arrow reports to Lex and calls for some assistance. Cheshire makes another attempt, but Aqualad is there to stop the assassination, and we get a tag team match. Aqualad and Red Arrow versus Cheshire and Sportsmaster. Megan makes the cheerleading squad, and Lex is able to broker a peace deal between North and South Ralasia. Aqualad decides to investigate Sportsmaster's claim that they have a mole, and it turns out that Raish and Lex were in cahoots. All right, that's episode 10.
Gasp.
So, we see that Cat Grant is reporting on
Yes.
uh was Cat Grant in Smallville?
Yes.
Okay, I assumed.
The probably most annoying version of Cat Grant to exist is in Smallville.
Okay. I really know. I mean, of course I had seen Cat Grant all through everything, but like Cat Grant was pretty prominently featured in the first season of Supergirl,
Hmm.
and so that's the Cat Grant like in my head.
Hmm.
But yeah, that Cat Grant is like running the news network that Supergirl works for.
I
So
have
that
found.
Cat Grant is an older Cat Grant.
I found in my miscellaneous Superman watching of things that Cat Grant is the most varied in personality between things that I've watched. And that's why usually I'm a lover of my Smallville versions, but the Cat Grant in Smallville is just not it. And because I've seen other versions that are maybe not a better person, but like still a cooler. So like I like when Cat Grant pops up anywhere
Okay, because yeah,
because I never
you're
know
getting
what she's
some
gonna be.
variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was just a miscellaneous Cat Grant. I was like, oh my gosh, hey.
Okay.
I
Good.
know her.
So, we just talked about how Bialia is kind of, a made-up reference to, like, it's DC's version of a Middle Eastern country.
Right.
So, I imagine North and South Ralasia made you think of something
Immediately when I saw not even like just the
when you saw the
animations,
people.
the drawings themselves, the outfits, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
so Korea's.
Oh yeah, so we're heavy hand like this is North.
It's like
Okay.
this is a big thing.
Yeah, so we're just okay. That's
Right up,
cool.
right. Yeah, point
Right in
blank.
your face. Like
So
even
Korea.
like they didn't switch North and South either. Like they
No,
were
that's what killed me was the outfits when they said north and south, and I was like,
yeah, they were direct.
that's exactly what I think it is. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my
So
first thought in the entire episode. I was like,
it
oh.
was exactly what you think it was. And so Cat Grant is saying like they're trying to, they're at this legendary peace summit where they're trying to it's just falling apart. It's just not working. They're not able to find peace. And so they have agreed to bring in a neutral party to kind of facilitate.
I love a super neutral party.
Yeah. And obviously the super neutral party was going to be American. They made that
Naturally.
very clear.
Where else is neutrality at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said, it could be Superman, but it said they're arriving in a car. So, probably not Superman.
Right.
Probably somebody who needs a car.
I should have seen Cat Grant being there, the comments on Superman. I should have seen what was about to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't,
And that's okay. Because
which made it all the
you
more
didn't,
beautiful, I
that's the
think.
thing, like, you didn't necessarily need to look for it because you're probably thinking, like, why would I know who this person's going to be?
That's what I go into every episode. I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is or who this is, whatever. Yeah.
And because this is Young Justice, Lex is one of those people, like, you don't know if he's even
Existing in this thing. Yes.
that's the thing about this show is like you don't know how deep in the bag we're gonna go. You don't know
Mm.
like you don't know where we're going. But you got to keep in mind the Justice League exists.
Right.
and they're in the background. So it's safe to assume that all of their villains also exist.
Right.
They may just be in the background. And so Lex is one of those people that's like, oh, he's here, but we haven't had a reason to see him yet.
Right.
And so Red Arrow is there, and Red Arrow calls the cave, which I'm glad that he has just a direct, like he just hit a button and he's got the
Boom.
cave.
Beep
And
beep.
Aqualad, good thing Aqualad was just in there.
Hmm.
And he's like, I need everything you have on Cheshire because I'm told that she's going to be here. And
Hmm.
so he checks for her and he's like, she is 5'6". And so he
That
scans.
was a funny way to go about it, in my opinion. Just like look for the woman that's
Yeah,
5'6".
that's, I mean, and that's a very standard height. So
I
there's
that's
no
what
way
I'm
she was the
thinking.
only one.
That's what I
But
was thinking.
they do. Well, actually, I don't know if they know what she actually looks like because Artemis was the only one that saw her face.
Right.
And I don't
We're not trusting
know.
her on this mission, so.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not the one who's in the cave. But yeah, Artemis is the only one that, and she and Artemis obviously know each other, and we get another hint of that later. But
Hmm.
yeah, like I don't know when the League would have seen her face.
I don't recall there being a moment in that episode she was in previously.
Yeah, same. And, you know, perhaps she was seen before, but I'm not remembering her being seen.
Hmm.
So, whatever, it's fine. They figure out like she's 5'6". That's information that we probably would have. He scans the crowd, he finds somebody who matches, and she suits up so quick and she pulls out a fucking RPG.
Naturally.
Yeah, and luckily Red Arrow is able to stop that from happening. And, you know, a bunch of commotion, yada yada. She gets subdued, and Cat Grant is reporting, and it's like, and the arbitrator is Lex Luthor. I love this version of Lex Luthor. Like this, the Young Justice version of Lex Luthor is one of my favorite versions of Lex Luthor.
I am excited to hear that because, man, do I love Lex
He's your
Luthor.
guy. And I care more about, like, when it comes to casting, I care more about my Lex than my Clark, personally.
I think Lex is harder to nail with the vocal inclination. Like, and yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. To take seriously, yeah.
yeah. And I
And we've
love
had that
this version of him.
discussion on another one you had me on that I was like, I don't know if this is the
Yeah,
voice that we needed.
yeah. We have had this discussion. And so the dude who voices Lex in this, I know him from Rush Hour 1.
I looked him up and I've definitely have at least seen Rush Hour 1, but I know him from Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, okay.
He is a character in that because I was like, I've surely seen something. His face looked familiar.
Okay.
But I don't know much of his work otherwise.
Yeah, like Rush Hour is the thing I know him from. I know he's in a bunch of other things, but like as far as like me saying like, "Oh, that's the guy from," it's gonna be Rush Hour
Hmm.
and this. Like those are what I know him
Those are
from.
the things.
And so yeah, it's Lex Luthor, and so I'm sure you were like, "Gasp! It's Lex Luthor!"
I did. I guessed. I was so excited.
And also you were like, I don't know how I feel about him being the
Because
one
I
to
was like,
broker
wait,
peace
he's the
between
one
these two
that's
countries.
dealing with this whole thing. But then, you know
Yeah,
what? Also, in my mind, I was like, naturally,
yeah,
Alexander's the one out here
it's gonna
doing
be
these
him.
things.
He did win the presidency in a lot of situations.
Yes, like he's of the power to do these sorts of things.
Yeah. And so Red Arrow is like, Lex, what are you up to?
Yes,
Come on. Like, there's no way that, like, war would be beneficial for you in this situation.
right.
And Lex tells him, it's like, oh, the profits I would make in war dwarf the profits I would make for a united Relasia.
Which that was fascinating to me in the moment. I was like, Lex,
Feels real suspect.
you lying? Are
Yeah, I
you
was like,
lying?
does it?
To my face?
And then Red Arrow's kind of like, well, I don't know if they were after you or if they were after. And Lex is like, yeah, and I need you to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hire you to do it.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm not working for you.
No.
Well, you kind of need to, though. Like, you're going to need to figure it out regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we're taken over to the cave where we see that Superboy and Miss Martian are going to go to Earth School.
Yes.
And we see that Miss Martian, for the first time, takes an actual human appearance. Because whenever
Mm-hmm.
she just changes her clothes, Calder's kind of like, um, there's there's just one thing. There's just one thing that like might be, and she was like, ha ha ha, JK. And then she, puts on human colored skin.
Yes,
And
she does.
you sound like,
I'm interested in the direction this particular moment went. And if I may, let's glance briefly back on the episode we just spoke on, episode 9. We had that whole sequence in the mind fighting situation, which was heavily red lit. So I was like, "Oh, are they giving us a preview of what Miss Martian's going to look like regularly?" Because the red on the green, I was like, "Oh, that gives her human colored skin." And also with John being a black man when he is in human form, I assumed that to go with their on Earth storyline, that Megan might
of,
also be black. So when I saw that in episode 9, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I like that kind of coloring trick. They did the same thing in the first Wicked movie. At one point, they had like the Elphaba character get behind like a red thing, and it was like all about how she had green skin, and then suddenly she was like, oh, human color skin, and then back. And so I was like, oh, this is what she looks like. And then she transforms right then. Megan does. And I'm just like, that's a white woman.
yeah.
Huh.
So, couple things, because also I think it may have been the last episode where she mentions the white and green Martian situation.
I
I
think
don't,
it's this one.
oh, it's this one?
I think it's because they're talking about the relations between the
Oh,
two.
the relations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, same episode that
Yes.
those two things happen. And so we'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, so she yeah, when she transforms, it is into what looks like a young white woman.
Yes. And I would like to asterisk, if I may, this is my only experience with Miss Martian, so I don't know if this is canonically what she is. I have only ever known John Jones,
Yes.
and
And
that's all I know.
he, like, back in the way back, he was white, and then he
I've
started,
only known a black man, John Jones. Let me
yeah.
extra asterisk my
And that's the thing,
asterisks.
like, for me, like, for my entire life, he's been
Mhm.
black. Like,
Okay.
he was white before my time. There's only one time I've seen him white uh while I've been alive that I can recall, and that is
Mm.
Justice League: The New Frontier. And that movie
Hmm.
takes place in an older time. So
Okay.
that tracked. Like, I was like, this
Okay.
movie is very specifically based on an older time period.
Hmm.
So I get that. Um, so yeah, to me, he's always been black. And honestly, usually in media, green means black. I'm
Okay.
not gonna
You know,
say that that is across the board, but oftentimes when a character is green, they are black coded.
okay.
He is an example. In Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo is an example. In the MCU, Gamora is an example. Like, they're usually, if a character's green, they're black. I'm not
The
gonna
whole
say that
premise,
that's
though, wicked.
Wicked is another example. She's green, she's black. Like, I'm not saying that that's across the board, but
It's
oftentimes,
prominent.
yeah, Martian Manhunter, green, black.
Hmm.
And so, also, because they're supposed to be niece and uh uncle, you would assume that she would be black.
Yes.
Now, there are a couple things there. One, I don't know how dedicated they are to that story as far as Earth goes. There could be an adoption because he's not like he's black.
Yeah, like there's no, because that's the
There's
only
no
other thing
confusion.
too. It was like he'd have to be the one mixed, right? Like, and if he was, and like, there's no, he's
And so
no.
it absolutely because there are ways that it could work. The
Mm.
fact that they are related could like because here's my thought. Let's say that John Jones is married to a white lady.
Ah, an option I did not consider. Marriage.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They have the same last name. So
You know
that
what?
it
That
doesn't
happened in
really
my
work.
family, though. People married into the same last name, different families. So
Okay.
that sounds very Alabama, Sweet Home Alabama. That's not how that worked, listeners.
Uh,
But
for the record,
for the record,
you
I
have a
have a
common
very
last name.
common last name.
Yeah. I mean, and their last name is Jones. I mean, her last name is Moores. Never mind. She has a
Oh,
different last name.
okay. Well,
So
then that
actually,
makes
yeah, it could work.
I just the whole thing was interesting because and
Or
it's again
Morse.
all preconceived notions of what I know the Martian Manhunter to be. So when
Yes.
Megan transformed, and again after episode 9, I was like, oh, this is a cool little thing. And then this episode, I was like,
No,
okay,
no, I agree. I thought, oh, she's like the same kind of black Blake Griffin is.
yeah.
Like she's got a black parent and a redheaded parent, and the redheaded just, took a little more
So
because black people can look like anything.
yes,
Like
and the Blake Griffin point is a great one.
we have a full range of
Hmm.
melanin, like the literally the entire range. And so she could like I know that whenever because I said the same thing whenever I first saw her. I was like, why is she white? Like I was just outright like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Uh and so you tried to be a little more diplomatic about it. I appreciate that. But also you were like, why is she white?
But also, it's just like that's a choice that I don't understand.
It doesn't, yeah. It's like that's what we decided to do.
Hmm.
So I am just gonna say that she wasn't adopted, but like maybe maybe there's something going on there.
I like the Blake Griffin theory.
Okay.
We can go that route.
And yeah, like she doesn't have parents anybody's gonna meet, so
No.
it really doesn't super matter. But yeah, that's I'm glad that I'm glad it bothered you because it bothered me. Especially because John, like they were in the room at the same time.
That's
That's
what like he immediately was transformed before that, and then she goes, and I was just like, um, and
and I was and at first I was like, all right, Calder is enough. Like he checks the box. So
yeah, but mm-mm.
that's what we decided. Like Calder, if it's not like there'd be too many, we don't want to do that. We don't want to fuck up the ratio.
Oh no, not the ratio of a lot to
I
some. No.
uh it was I was just like, you know what? Okay. Whatever. It's fine. We're just gonna chalk it up to she's adopted. Or yeah, she's got an Irish parent.
I don't know how the Punnett Squares situation works up on Mars either.
Also that, yeah. So yeah, honestly, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, they get Earth names, and John is like, "How about John?"
It's like, wow, you're so creative, my guy.
And this another very cute moment is whenever um Megan is like, "Connor's always been my favorite name."
Where did that even come from, though? I was just like, Megan,
Yeah, and I
you're
was like,
being so loudly obvious right
yeah, I
now
was like,
in front
"Oh,"
of everybody.
and she's fine with it. And then and where it was loudly obvious is whenever it was like, "Hey, you can't wear that shirt."
Hmm.
And so he takes his shirt off. She has seen him shirtless before.
But then was
But that was he took
that
it off.
he took it off, and that was Connor taking it
Yeah.
off.
And she was smitten.
But
Like
I'm
she visibly blushed, and I was like, "Oh, Martians do that?" Because you know what black people don't do is blush.
that's why she had to be white to
Yeah,
make that moment work.
I think that yep, we figured it out.
There it is. We cracked the code. But I
And for the record, I know that people are gonna correct me. Yes, black people can blush. Shut up. But yeah. Anyway,
um
and then they were like, "And your last name can be Kent."
after Kent Nelson,
That was hilarious.
it's like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, "Sure."
after Kent Nelson.
And that's when he was like, "Shouldn't my last name be Nelson
Yeah,
if
I
that's
liked
what we're
all of
doing?"
those little moments of just like, wait,
Yeah. And that's the thing. This show is just written well. Even in the last episode, whenever he brings back the whole whelmed thing.
Yes, I
Oh,
love the bump because I even was like, oh, he did it again because he forgot that he
yeah.
did it already.
So yeah, just it's just so good.
But I was excited that I am now correctly calling him Connor since I've just been calling him Connor regardless of the fact that he has not been named. It took 10 episodes to give this kid a name.
It's a
Crazy.
26 episode season.
I know,
So
but 10 episodes, 6 months and months, and they're like, you know what?
I mean, they had like he only needs a code name for others. So yeah, like they can call him Superboy in the cave and it's fine. So
Yeah. But I guess I'm coming from the viewpoint of I have most definitely referred to him as Connor far more than I have as Superboy.
that's fine. It's not a
So,
problem. They're
mm,
interchangeable.
yes. But I'm glad he's Connor now. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
like just
he's a real boy.
like if we say Kid Flash or Wally,
You're
interchangeable.
right.
So we see that Cheshire is being interrogated by Red Arrow,
Yes.
and she's just, doing Tai Chi,
Chilling.
chilling. And then we see her duck, and he's like, oh shit. And the wall explodes, and I don't understand how he was more hurt than she was.
Is Ch- Chester not more mystical-ish?
Great question.
I ask because of with whom she is associated. I assume all of them have a bit of like,
So, the League of Shadows, not really. Generally, with the League of Shadows, it is primarily just assassins. Now, some of them may have some level
mystical
of,
assassin.
yeah, like he's mystical, but he's not even super mystical. Like
He's just old.
he's just tied to the Lazarus pit, but like he doesn't
Yeah.
often actually, he's not a practitioner of the mystic arts usually.
Okay. Well, maybe
Sometimes he
mystical
is,
isn't
but
that. I just assume, I don't know, the League of Shadows stuff, I just assume stuff that they can.
they have ninja magic a little bit.
I don't want to use magic in the terms of we were using magic in the last episodes because I'm learning more that magic is something that exists in practical, actual magic situations. So just like that's why I'm trying to say like mystical, which I know is the same, but it's not in my mind. It's
It's
not
broader
magic.
in this
Yeah,
case.
it's more of a supernatural-esque, which I
I
guess
would
magic
say
is
that
too, but
she has not demonstrated anything like that so far. We
okay.
have only seen her use assassin techniques. We've only seen her use like practical weapons, and we've
Okay.
seen her use hand to hand. We've seen her use poisons, but we have not seen her do anything that would lead us to believe that she has anything otherworldly going on.
Okay, so she just was fast and covered quickly enough for the explosion
Yes,
to avoid
sure.
move the plot along.
Yeah,
Episode's got to
the
happen.
episode's got to
That
happen. There
stuff.
you go. You're getting me. So she is broken out by Sportsmaster, and she's like, God damn it. Why did it have to be you? And she also hints to the fact that she knows Artemis because she almost calls her by name,
Mm-hmm.
but then is like the archery girl.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kind of history there.
Suspicious.
Yeah, she is not happy to see Sportsmaster. But yeah, he's like, beggars can't be choosers.
Hmm.
So shut up, come on. And Red Arrow, is of course trying to track him. And she's, going pretty easy on him. And he's like, all right, so you're not trying to kill him.
Hmm.
And she's like, I mean, yeah, good point. I should probably, you know, not be going this easy on him.
Right.
And so luckily he puts the tracker on the helicopter and they end up in front of Raish. I imagine you are familiar with Raish.
I do know Raish.
Excellent. And
In only a single capacity, but I know of him.
okay. Raish has appeared in a bunch of stuff. I like Raish. Um, so yeah. They're in front and you knew immediately that it was Raish, right?
Yes, that
Okay.
he's got, I think even though I've only known one version of him, he's got a certain presence about him. And if they're doing him right, he's a pretty identifiable character.
Agreed. Do you know who voiced Raish?
I didn't look that one up.
This is who I've always wanted to be Raish. Uh,
Okay.
it was Ardeth Bay from The Mummy.
Okay. I've seen The Mummy. I don't know who that is in The Mummy, but I've
He's the guy with the long black hair.
like the mystical one.
Yes,
I
Ardeth
know
Bay.
exactly who it is now. I like him.
I like him.
Yeah.
And that's like he's who I want as like that's who I want Raish to be.
Hmm.
If we do anything like that, that's who I want
That's
as
a good
Raish.
vision of who it needs to be.
Yeah, like I really like him. And yeah, like since he was Ardeth Bay, since he was in Charmed, like I've always liked him, and I've always thought, yes, that is who I want as my Raish. So he is perfect for Raish, in my opinion. And I really enjoyed him in this. So, Red Arrow is, spying in the background, and
Hmm.
Raish just knows he's there.
Yeah,
Ray's just kind of just talking, and he's like, "Yeah,
this
that
kid.
dude up there." And Red Arrow's kind of like, "Oh shit!" And so they, fight a little bit on the rooftop.
Hmm.
Uh, and when I see a rooftop like that,
Their Mulan fight sequence.
yeah, that's absolutely what that was.
Final scene, climactic moment.
Yes, it was absolutely Mulan.
Ready
And
for Mushu to
so,
pop out there somewhere with his little fire show.
yeah,
Mhm.
so Red Arrow reports back to Lex after, a brief encounter with Sportsmaster in Cheshire. And he is like, "Hey Lex, here's what the situation is." Like they're involved
Mhm.
with Raish, and Lex is like, "I mean, me and Raish, we have some overlapping rivalry interest, so I could see, I mean, yeah, like him attacking me is like not a super surprise."
Mhm.
And Red Arrow also is like, "Hey, I might be over my head a little bit." Because he
Hmm.
makes it very clear at the beginning of the episode. He's like, "I don't want your little help. I don't need sidekick help."
He is so dramatic for that because again, I said this in an earlier episode, the whole reason Young Justice is even a thing is because of this dude in the first place.
That is
And
true.
then, oh no, they liked my idea, but not the way I wanted to go about it. So you know what? Red Arrow.
And that's the thing, like his whole thing was he felt disrespected.
Hmm.
And so now he's not putting respect on the squad's name.
Hmm.
So he's disrespecting them because he felt disrespected by the big league.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Cheshire decides, yeah, I'm gonna make another attempt on Lex because now we're again brokering the deal. And earlier we see Lex, gentlemen, can we get some smiles? Like just being Lex.
Right.
And we see that, they're at the summit, and Cheshire shows up, and Aqualad is like, "Not today." because we don't see
No.
who he calls, but we're pretty sure it's Aqualad because he and Aqualad have already spoken.
Also, if I'm gonna call one of them that I knew would come and help me,
That's what
is
I'm
the
calling.
Aqualad.
That's exactly what I'm gonna call.
Cal's gonna come.
Yeah, that was a crazy statement, but uh,
Okay, you didn't have to take it there. Wow.
I'm gonna blame it on the toxicity of the main podcast because
I
had it been
am
said
but
on there, it would
I
have we would have had to pause and talk about it.
I would have given them a whole ordeal too. No, I am a
No,
lady.
that is correct.
Anyway, Cal would have helped out in the situation
Yes,
immediately out of all of them,
yes.
followed by Megan, maybe.
I mean, I think that he would have the three people that he knows. So he and Robin, Wally, and Cal are
Hmm.
all like they've known each other for a long time.
They could
So like Wally or Robin would have absolutely been who else he would have called. But Calder's there for him, and Calder's like, yeah, we're not doing that. And so we see how he prevents the uh assassination attempt
hmm
because she was about to just roll the cart and it was just going to explode. And he puts up a full water barrier, like
I
a
love when he water powers.
yes. His water bending is pretty serious.
Sick.
And so then the whole league arrives and we get us a little boss fight tag team match.
Hmm.
And Red Arrow says to Calder, "You take Sportsmaster. Cheshire is mine." Because it's personal with those two.
Oh yeah. They were
And
like, I was kind of rooting for them, honestly.
Burden Brew.
Red Arrow in Cheshire. I was like, y'all are a good time.
Oh, for another pairing?
I just want one of my parents to go right, but I was like, this is a little like fun toxic, these two.
Yeah, because she says like it's only our third date.
She's so flirty with him, and I was
She's really
supportive
flirting with him.
every single moment. I was like, tell him, girl.
She be flirting with that man.
Hmm.
And so during their fight, a lot of stuff happens. She mentions like, "Oh, you called your little sidekick friends. I thought you said that they weren't worth your time." And Calder's taken aback by that, and Sportsmaster clotheslines the fuck out of him. That clothesline was mean.
Yeah, those were
Ooh, I I had to rewind it. 'Cause I was like, "Oh, yeah, that
yeah,
clothesline was serious."
full butt.
But that fight's going on, and while that's happening, we see over at school
Ah, yes,
there's
the kids.
yeah, there's a kid who's wearing a shirt because the whole thing was we don't want Connor to give away his secret identity. So
Right,
he can't wear the Superman symbol on his shirt.
right.
And so he sees a kid with a symbol on him and snatches the kid up and he's like, "The fuck is this?"
Hmm.
And the other kids are all also wearing superhero stuff. And the large kid is like, "Put him down." And I was like, I love that this is very like non-bullying. Like we're all
Very anti-bullying statements. Yeah. I felt for Connor in that moment though, and I was actually impressed with him for not crashing out more
yeah, he's improving. He's getting better.
because he had every right, I think, to crash out more about that because he was like, the whole thing was is I couldn't wear my freaking shirt, but all of these other people are allowed to be us, but okay.
Yeah, and that's why he was like, his shirt is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Megan did have to, remind him like we
She
can't.
did, but still, I was like, all right, Connor. All of his crash outs this episode, I was impressed with his holding back. I know Megan had a good part in all of that,
Yep,
which is part of the whole thing of it all, but still, they weren't as loud as they could have been.
they could have been so much worse.
Yes.
And again, because we know the situation, like I wasn't mad at anybody in that situation because I
No,
understand why Connor is mad under the circumstances, and I understand why all of the other kids were like, "Hey, new kid, what are
don't
you
do
doing?
that. Yeah.
Like, you can't just snatch up, a kid on a skateboard, and yeah, like everybody was justified.
Yes, no one was wrong in that situation.
Yeah. And I like that the kid on the skateboard was still like, hey, let's be
Chill.
friends.
He's
Like,
like, You're fine."
I
Big
was
in
like,
him.
I like all of this that's happening right now.
Yeah, no, it was
So
all good.
like that was all that was like great interactions.
Yes.
And so we see that later over at school, um, Megan is told like, hey, you look like cheerleading material. And she's like, I'm absolutely cheerleading material.
Hell yeah. No, sorry. I took a breath that I shouldn't have. I have nothing to say until you say
Okay.
it.
Uh she she tries out
Mhm.
and she makes the team, but obviously there's a hazing ritual. And all I'm gonna say is when that happened, I was like, not black, because we're not doing that. I understand that there was a black girl involved with that whole initiation thing.
However, she
However,
stopped that probably.
however, absolutely fucking not. We don't do that. Do you know how much danger you could be in for getting somebody's hair wet on purpose?
I'll tell you this. No, I don't because I'm too scared to find out.
And that, good.
Yeah,
You know that's not something, that's not a situation you ever need to be in. And yeah, good for you.
thanks.
But yeah, that is I was like absolutely not. Like I couldn't have water dumped on me and
No.
be like I'm that's I absolutely not.
No, that's not a very welcoming thing to do to the new girl. Also, and then I was gonna make a comment on the convenience of there always being a cheer tryout on someone's first day of school
Always.
in media.
Yes. If that's
They
gotta
were
be.
like, "Oh, that's so convenient. A
Yeah.
cheer tryout today of all
Today of all
days."
days. Yeah. Today of all days. So yeah, and again, Connor was ready to hurt some people
Yeah,
because he was under the impression that Megan was being attacked.
right.
And yeah, then
It was kind of
he
sweet.
so yeah, then he like fell because
I just like the lack of reaction from most everybody else when he did fall. They were like,
well, and one of the girls was like, "Hey, is that your man? Because he's fine, but he's weird."
yeah,
Uh, and I was like, "Of course, everybody who looks at him feels that way."
he's fine, but there's
But
something going on there.
something off. Yeah. So yeah, that was that whole sequence. It bothered me because I was like, oh, if I would have been in that situation, like I
Right,
would have, what Connor would have done is what I would have done
right.
because we're not
No.
doing that. But I don't like initiations. I don't like pranks. I don't like any of that shit.
Not a fun time.
And so yeah, if you dump water on me,
Yeah,
eh, yeah, I'm gonna have to put my hands on you.
yeah.
That's what this is now. This is what you have asked me to do. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put my hands on you. But she was perfectly fine with it. And again, that's when I was like, yep, white. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Because the big difference too, aside from like hair and everything like that, like I feel like if that had happened to me, I'd have been like, oh, okay, great. And then been really upset about it, but never said anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you like who would not have been on the cheerleading squad is me
No, you just
in
shut
that
that down.
situation. Yeah, like no, y'all can't have
I'm
me.
on it and now I'm back off and no one ever talked to me again. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Like I would have called them everything but a child of God. I would have everybody getting called out their name. That's what we're doing.
Hmm.
That's what you've earned.
Hmm.
And so, um, Lex, uh, not Lex, we're not there yet. Red Arrow says to Calder, "Hey, we need to end this."
Hmm.
And so he hits the sprinkler. So the Caldor's got some more material to work with.
I activated with water. I
And
wrote that
then,
down. I was like, he's a water activated
and
person.
so he does a water dragon jutsu.
Yes.
And the bomb that Cheshire had, I guess, was significant because it evaporated all that water.
Yeah.
And then out of the smoke, there's an assassin who tries to go ahead and finish Lex. And Lex is saved by Mercy and her fucking arm cannon.
That felt so miscellaneous. I was
Now,
just like, I don't. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
so I know you're familiar with Mercy,
Yeah.
and I think I have asked you before, you and I have talked about Mercy having some extra things.
So when I say I'm familiar with Mercy, there's an asterisk next to that because again, this is another Smallville thing, but it's just like Smallville has a character that is an amalgamation, a combination.
Amalgamation.
Thank you, amalgamation. I'm what he said
Amalgamation.
that of Eve Tessmacher and Mercy. Like the character is Tess Mercer. Like it's supposed to be both of them
Got it?
and an individual, and she has there's a lot of complications that exist with her and like yeah it's a very like all kinds of things individual so I'm not immediately aware specifically of Mercy or I know Mercy exists because Tess Mercer exists.
Okay. So Mercy is often Lex's number two.
Yes.
And this, I think, is the only time that I have seen her with actual like cybernetic enhancements.
Okay, because it happened and I was like, what was that?
And I'm here for it. Like there are a lot
No.
of times where Mercy is, capable. Like they're in Superman the animated series, like there are some times when Mercy had to put her hands on people.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole thing where she and Harley Quinn are scrapping.
Okay.
So yeah, but as far as I know, usually Mercy doesn't like this is the only time I remember seeing Mercy with cybernetic enhancements, and I'm here for it.
I was just taken aback initially 'cause I was just like, oh, uh,
Yeah, like she kind of acts as Lex's personal assistant,
hmm.
and she is sometimes a cyborg, sometimes not. I don't know. I can't tell you confidently how often she's a cyborg or how often she again has like extra stuff or because I feel like she usually carries a weapon because again
Hmm.
she's a personal assistant slash bodyguard. But yeah, I was she do you remember seeing Mercy in any of the live action Superman movies?
To my knowledge, movie-wise, I've only ever seen Miss Tessmacher, and not Mercy. I can't think of any. Again, the closest I've ever gotten was Tess Mercer, but I've not seen a live action Mercy to my knowledge. I never got through all of Lois and Clark, and there might have been in there that I didn't recognize,
Okay.
but that's where.
Okay. She has had a few live action uh situations, not just a bunch. I am not gonna be able to tell you if she's in any of the Superman movies because I'm not as familiar with those.
I really don't think she is.
Okay. I know that she's in Supergirl. I know that she's in Batman Superman Dawn of Justice. And she's been in, a bunch of other animated things. She's in like I said, Batman or not, sorry, Superman the animated series. She's in she's actually got a pretty good number of speaking parts in Super Pets.
Hmm.
I want to say that she's in the movies we reviewed, Death of and Reign of Superman.
She is because that's the only reason I had the revelation of Tess Mercer being two people and not just one,
Not
like
just
the
Eve.
yes, not just like a nod to Eve, but also being a nod to Mercy because we were I we watched those movies and I looked her up and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is a whole other character that I've never been super familiar with." And she must not have been huge in well, I say that. I am admittedly not as familiar on the Henry Cavill Supermans as I could be. Um,
I mean, yeah, she wasn't in Man of Steel, but again, she was
but she was
in
in one of his
she was in Dawn of Justice, and
yes.
Lex used her as fodder, basically. Like she dies. Um,
Um,
and I was like, oh, that's not my mercy.
no, and that's what I've also recognized this character be. I've recognized her mainly as being in animated stuff when she has come around prominently, and then she's a tough cookie when she's there.
Yeah.
Like
And that's why like
super.
I didn't like her live action portrayal in uh Dawn of Justice. But that's because again, she was just killed. But I also hate that Lex Luthor. He is the worst casting decision I've ever seen, period. I hate Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. And I have gone on record as saying that is the worst casting decision, period, in my opinion. But neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
So
No one,
Marcy, oh
yeah.
good.
No, go ahead. I would get us stuck on the Lex. We always get stuck on the Lex
Yeah.
stuff. So let's move along.
Okay. So she pulls out the arm cannon and handles the assassin that was about to, that lunged.
hmm
And North and South Malaysia are like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You saved our lives." And Red Arrow's like, "Him?"
Huh? Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, he's able to broker the peace deal. He's able to, make things happen.
All Lex ever wanted was peace and joy amongst the
And
land.
so Sportsmaster kind of mentions to Aqualad some of the adventures they've been on.
hmm
And Aqualad is like, how do you know about that?
hmm
And Sportsmaster's like, because I have somebody on the inside.
Yeah.
Way on the inside.
Interesting.
Funny how that's so Red Arrow's like, I heard what he said.
hmm
Do you think you have a mole? And Aqualad is like, I will investigate quietly. And Red Arrow's like, so you're not going to tell anybody? He's like, well, A, I don't want to alert the mole.
Yeah, that would go against the investigation, but
Yeah.
my
And B, I want to, I don't want to alert them if it is in fact nothing,
hmm
because this could just be a mind game that Sportsmaster is playing. So, Cassie, what do you think the situation is?
Well, naturally, since I've been unkind to Artemis, I don't
You think
trust her.
you think she's the mole?
And I don't trust her. And this came up in an episode that Cheshire was in, where my distrust started from was another episode with Artemis and Cheshire. And so I'm just connecting dots in whatever order I choose to. Um, Now, that said, for the sake of entertainment, would I be thrilled for it to be someone else just for a fun, shocking time? Yeah, because I also would not put it past writers in general and any show to give me someone to want to dislike to put me off the scent of someone else.
That is a writer thing to do.
It is
And they're putting us on the scent of Artemis because we know that Artemis and Cheshire have something going on.
something.
And the fact that Cheshire and Sportsmaster are connected, the transitive property says if Artemis and Cheshire, and if Cheshire and Sportsmaster, then Artemis and
If
Sportsmaster.
therefore,
Yeah. So that's what the transitive property tells us.
yup.
And so, yeah, it's easy to assume that Artemis is the mole. My
What they're feeding
theory,
to me.
my theory is a little different. Um, but I already actually know what's going on.
Like I was about to say, I was like, but your theory
It doesn't
is
matter. It's not a
doesn't
theory.
you know what it is.
Yeah.
Those are my two options right now, is that it is Artemis, regardless on if it's a malicious or not so situation, it's Artemis, or because I feel like I'm being fed to believe it's Artemis, it's going to be something shocking. And it could be something super shocking. Like, why is Cal just like, they don't even know. But they don't need to know. It would destroy me. I'm getting close to the camera as if the viewers could see me or the listeners can see me, but I'm getting close to you guys to say it would destroy me if it is Calder.
So the reason you can kind of take Calder off the table is because if it was Calder that was feeding intel to, like Sportsmaster and Calder would already like that they'd already be like clicked in if it was Calder. Like
Acting,
Sportsmaster would not have said to Calder, "Y'all have a mole. That's how I know what y'all have been doing."
but acting,
Okay.
playing a role.
Okay. Okay. Let's
Double
leave Calder on the
crossing
table
the
then.
double crossing. I'm not saying it's Calder
We're gonna
because
leave them
I
on the table. I'm not saying it's Calder either, but you are saying that you have not ruled him out.
no. Oh, my heart's ruled him out 100%. I'm not letting it be him in my heart of hearts. But I'm saying it could be someone that's just an easy, oh, they're so unsuspecting.
Yeah.
Or they're so dumb. It could be so, because who knows what Wally's brought back with him that can hear things and do things.
Yeah, Wally keeping souvenirs could be.
Wally's just not being smart about a lot of his stuff too. So that's why I bring up the point with even with Artemis, if it is her, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a malicious intent situation. It's just we've got kids
Yeah. So it could be a
kidding.
situation where, because we know that Artemis, has her mom,
Yes.
and her mom is aware of her quote unquote extracurricular activities. So her mom could be like it. It could not. It could be none of them. It
None
could
of it.
be a situation where somebody is. It could be Green Arrow.
It could be the tornado thing
Could be Red Tornado.
because he's suspicious for existing in the first place.
Yeah, because they can't mind read him.
Nope.
And we saw in earlier episodes that he's been like they're actively attempting to compromise him.
Yup.
Like that's why he's here. Like that's his whole thing. So obviously there's a recorder in his chest.
Mhm.
So a lot of options. Because that's the thing. It because this show covers a lot of the DC universe, like it may not be somebody in the cave. It may just be somebody adjacent to the cave.
Oh man, that just opens up so many more options.
Yeah.
Thrilling.
Yeah.
I love a shocking reveal. So that's part of me. As much as I don't trust Artemis, I would love a shocking reveal of something.
Okay.
I
Okay.
say that.
I wonder what's going to happen for you to trust Artemis. Or if she just, this is where she's going to live forever.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't think it's where she's gonna live forever because to be honest, all of them, it's because they're kids. They all annoyed me at the start. Half of them did. I was like, I'm so sick of y'all. Even this episode, I was just like, I really enjoy this time with Red Arrow. And normally I'm like, freaking Red Arrow. And his
Yeah.
complain. No one wants to do anything, but I'm the one that did this, blah, blah, blah. I think of all of them, the only one that's not annoyed me at some capacity has been Calder.
Yep.
So there's
I think
hope for Artemis. She hasn't proven herself to me
it
yet.
sounds like the only thing that annoyed you about Calder is when he was like, I'm going to stay in Atlantis. And then that got shut down quickly. And so you're like, and we're back.
And we're back. He came back to us.
Yes, he did. And he's here 100%. He's
Yes.
locked in with
And
the
I wouldn't
squad.
even, I was just, disappointed. I was like, Calder,
Calder, no.
oh,
Come on home.
we want you here.
Yeah. Be
You're
where
our
you are
leader.
wanted.
Yes.
Okay. So, um, he decides he's going to investigate it quietly.
Yes.
And we see that Lex is talking to somebody and he's like, hey, we did what we needed to do. Peace in Malaysia. And we see who he's talking to, and it's none other than Raish.
And this is what I'm saying. I love a moment of, well, would you looky there? Love
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Because right when they did just the handoff of the drink, I was like, oh, this is about to be a reveal.
Yeah. And did you hear what Raish said?
Remind me.
Raish said something to the effect of, everyone will see the light,
Everyone.
or they too will see the light.
The light. The
The
freaking
light.
light.
Yeah. And if you think about it, I know that you probably haven't because there hasn't been a reason to, but like all we've heard is disembodied voices.
Correct.
Are these two voices that we've heard?
But that's a thought to have because you just see the outlines and you hear them. And the problem for me specifically is I could have heard them, but since these aren't faces and on actors,
Yeah.
I'm not registering them the same way.
Yeah, and that's the it's all new to you. So you have no
So
reason. But if you'll
connecting's not
notice,
working the same.
I'm sure that you have noticed that it's a different voice each time. Like whenever a different person talks to the light, it's a different voice talking back to them. So the voice that Simon spoke to
Yeah.
was different than the voice Black Manta spoke to, was different than the voice Sportsmaster spoke to. So there are a
Wow.
lot because there are a lot of disembodied voices.
Yes.
And so if Raish is one of the people talking about seeing the light,
Hmm.
then it is safe to assume that he is one of those voices.
Which he makes so much sense
Yeah,
to
because
be one of those.
the League of Shadows is like a large scale international,
Correct.
quietly topple governments type group.
Yes,
So when I think of the light, I think of the League of Shadows. Like this is exactly the thing that this
there
is their
is.
business.
Hmm.
So yeah. And they're not like hard, they're blurry outlines. So you really don't know who's in there. Like you can't it's not even really an outline. It's just, blurs.
A formation, it's yeah, but it's too fuzzy on the edges to really lock in.
Exactly. But all I've noticed is that it's not the same voice responding every time. So we know that, the light is a large council because there are a bunch of individual pictures. But what I have noticed is like, oh, I bet the person responding is the person in the light that you represent.
Huh,
So,
that checks.
yeah.
Didn't connect that.
So yeah, it's a good show.
It's a good time.
So we enjoyed episodes 9 and 10.
Yes. Definitely, obviously 10. I just love me a Lex Luthor sighting when I can get one.
Oh yeah.
What a
We do
fun
love
character.
Lex.
I love a Lex moment.
And this is a Lex who was not tied to Superman didn't come up at all.
And that's fine with me because not even like Superboy was in this and it had nothing to do with him either. And like
Yep.
I just love Lex as a character. That's how much I love him. Like just give me Lex.
And that's the thing, like honestly, the only time we really see Lex be like awful is when it comes to Superman just because of his obsession.
His obsession.
But like otherwise, Lex is so smooth.
He's he's a cool guy. I would probably fall under whatever thing he needed me. I'd be like, yeah, you convinced me.
Yeah, like Lex is very smooth.
That's a smart man.
And so, yeah, like whenever he's not obsessing over Superman, he's
Because then he's dramatic
he can get a
and
lot done.
like, oh my
Yeah, like
gosh.
when Superman's not involved, he's not emotional.
No.
And so yeah, like he's able to get so much done. And this
Yes.
is an example of him just being smooth
Yep.
and yeah, like him just
He
being
just
incredibly successful and charismatic and yeah, like again, whenever Mercy saved him,
mm-hmm.
both Relatios were like, "Oh my God."
Well,
And so yeah.
he's just a great character. I love Alex.
Yeah. He's good. Like he's often a really good. And again, like this version of Lex is one of my favorites. I
Hmm.
really like the Young Justice Lex.
I'm excited if there's more of him then.
I
Sounds like
can.
there will be. There's all this bonding and stuff happening with the bad guys.
Well, and I was gonna say, like, nobody's. I don't know if anybody's died yet.
I don't think so.
So yeah, like everybody's still available to be seen. But the fact that Raish said to like something about the light, you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna we're gonna see you
Hmm.
again. That's important because the light is, we got to
The whole
find out
thing.
who's in it. So yeah. Anything else on these two episodes?
I feel like I need to add in my obligated ice people rant, but otherwise, no. Think I've said my piece on these. I had a good time with them. Think I enjoyed 10 more than 9
Okay. And
for
like I said,
previous biases that exist.
nobody's died, so the ice people could come
The
up.
ice people could still be here. My
We're
friend,
gonna
like,
see.
they're never gonna show up again, I feel like, and you're just leading me on, and that's okay.
We're
I'll
gonna
write
see what
my
happens.
I'll write my own bonus episode after I watch all 75 episodes or whatever is the entire
However
series.
many there are, yeah. Okay, cool. I support that too. All right. In the next episode, we will be discussing season 1, episodes 11 and 12. So until then, salutations.